Snow fell softly over the city on Christmas Eve, wrapping the streets in false calm. She stood outside the restaurant, hands trembling, clutching a cheap gift bag she could barely afford. Tonight was supposed to be peaceful, a small dinner with friends. Instead, fate had led her here, face to face with the man who once promised her forever. Her ex stepped out laughing, dressed in luxury, surrounded by people who looked at her like she didn't belong. She tried to turn away, but it was already too late. His eyes locked onto her, and a cruel smile slowly spread across his face. "Look who it is," he said loudly, making sure everyone heard. He glanced at her worn coat, her old shoes, her nervous posture. Each detail amused him. He asked if she was lost, if she'd mistaken this place for a shelter. Laughter erupted around them, sharp and cold. Her cheeks burned, but she said nothing. She remembered nights when he had needed her, when he had sworn he'd never leave. Now he paraded his success like a weapon, enjoying every second of her discomfort. He didn't stop. He told stories about how he escaped her, how she had been a burden, how lucky he was to upgrade his life. His new girlfriend watched with a smug smile, sipping champagne. People stared openly now. Someone even filmed. The humiliation crushed her chest, making it hard to breathe. She felt small, invisible, as if the world had decided she deserved this punishment on Christmas Eve of all nights. She tried to walk away, but he stepped in front of her, blocking the path. He mocked the gift in her hand, asking who it was for, joking that she probably couldn't afford dinner inside anyway. Her hands shook harder. Tears threatened to fall, but she swallowed them back. Crying would only entertain him more. She wished the snow would swallow her whole and erase this moment forever. That was when the air shifted. The laughter behind her died suddenly, like someone had turned off a switch. She sensed it before she saw it, a heavy presence, calm but dangerous. A black car had pulled up to the curb, sleek and silent. The door opened, and a man stepped out, tall, impeccably dressed, his expression unreadable. Conversations around them stopped. Even her ex froze mid-sentence. The man walked closer, slow and deliberate, his shoes crunching softly in the snow. His eyes moved from the crowd to her ex, then finally to her. When their gazes met, she felt something strange, safety. He took off his coat without a word and draped it gently over her shoulders. The warmth startled her. "It's cold," he said calmly. His voice was low, controlled, carrying authority that didn't need volume. Her ex scoffed nervously, asking who this man thought he was. The stranger didn't answer immediately. He straightened, finally giving her ex his full attention. "You're causing a scene," he said. "And you're embarrassing yourself." The words were quiet, but they landed like a slap. The crowd watched, sensing something was about to happen. Her ex laughed again, though it sounded forced now. He insulted the man's accent, his confidence, daring him to interfere. That's when one of the men from the black car stepped forward, followed by another. Suddenly, people recognized them. Whispers spread fast. A name passed through the crowd, one spoken with fear and respect. The man wasn't just wealthy. He was powerful. A mafia boss. Color drained from her ex's face. His posture collapsed, confidence evaporating in seconds. The mafia boss stepped closer, invading his space without touching him. "You humiliated her," he said softly. "On Christmas Eve." His eyes were cold now. "Do you know what kind of man does that?" Her ex tried to speak, but no words came out. The boss turned slightly, shielding her from view. "You deserve better than this," he told her quietly. "No one gets to treat you like you're nothing." His words felt unreal, like something out of a dream. Behind him, her ex began apologizing, stumbling over himself, suddenly desperate. The boss raised one finger, silencing him instantly. "You had your chance," the boss said. "And you wasted it." He glanced at the phone recording the scene and nodded once. One of his men calmly took it, deleting the video before handing the phone back. No threats were spoken, yet everyone understood the warning. The boss then looked back at her ex. "Leave, now." Her ex didn't argue. He grabbed his girlfriend's arm and rushed away, pushing through the stunned crowd, his earlier arrogance shattered. People parted for him, avoiding eye contact, afraid to be associated with his shame. The restaurant lights seemed dimmer now, the laughter gone. Only snow and silence remained. She stood there, overwhelmed, wrapped in the coat of a stranger who had changed everything in minutes. She whispered a thank you, unsure what else to say. He smiled faintly, the hardness in his eyes softening. "Christmas is about kindness," he replied. "And about remembering your worth." No one had spoken to her like that in a long time. He offered to take her somewhere warm, no pressure in his voice. She hesitated, then nodded. As they walked toward the car, she felt eyes on her, not mocking this time, but curious, respectful. For the first time that night, she lifted her head. The city lights reflected in the snow like stars. Inside the car, warmth surrounded her. Soft music played quietly. She realized her hands had stopped shaking. He asked about her life, listening without interrupting, without judgment. She told him about starting over, about feeling invisible. He listened as if every word mattered. That alone felt like a gift. They drove past glittering decorations, past couples laughing, past memories that no longer hurt as sharply. She realized the humiliation hadn't broken her, it had led her here. To someone who saw her value instantly, without needing proof or explanation. The car stopped at a quiet, elegant place overlooking the city. Snow fell heavier now, but she felt warm inside. He wished her a Merry Christmas, handing her back the gift she'd been carrying all along. "Don't let anyone take your dignity again," he said gently. As she stepped out, she looked back, wanting to say more, but words failed her. He nodded once, a silent promise that this night would not end in shame, but in strength. The car drove away, leaving tire marks in the snow that quickly disappeared. She stood there for a moment, breathing deeply. The pain of earlier felt distant now, like a bad dream fading with morning light. She wasn't weak, she had simply forgotten her worth. And tonight, a stranger had reminded her. On Christmas Eve, she had been humiliated, exposed, and laughed at. But she walked home with her head high, wrapped in warmth, carrying a story she would never forget. Sometimes, justice doesn't come loudly. Sometimes, it arrives quietly, in a black car, and reminds you exactly who you are.